Good morning and welcome to the week ahead. We're going to change it up a little bit this week. So I'll start. In taxation, we have a work session tomorrow on 2 estate tax bills that lower the exclusion amount from 5.6 million to 1 and 2 million. So we oppose those bills, so that'll be worked tomorrow. Also on the corporate income tax is a bill to increase the top tier rate from 8.93 to 9, so we will be opposing that. And there's also another bill that would basically reinstate the super high-tech tax credit. So we will be supporting that bill. So we've got a busy day in tax tomorrow. But Megan, you want to go?
This week in appropriations, the education budget began. The Commissioner of Education gave her overview for about 2 hours yesterday morning, and then they did early childhood, and today is higher ed. And then later in the week, the work session on the study foreign skilled credentialed workers is on Thursday.
So a couple of things. First, Ben's not with us this morning. He's actually with our president, Dana Connors, in Washington, D.C. Dana was asked by Congress if he would testify on the issue of rural broadband access. So he will be testifying before Congress tomorrow, which is a great opportunity for both Dana and the organization. So Ben will be with us again next week. In my areas, it was a very busy week last week. They had, the Labor and Housing Committee had about 8 public hearings on workers' comp bills. We testified in opposition to 7 of those and supported one bill which would change or include marijuana and other legal and illegal drugs in what might exclude you from benefits if you were willfully using those on the job. The other bills all would add cost and take us back to the pre-92 reforms that were passed. That's not the right direction for our comp system. It's been headed in the right direction for the last 27 years. We have lower costs. We have fewer people being injured on the job, significantly fewer people injured on the job, and the severity of those injuries that do take place is dropped considerably as well. We're still considered a high-cost state. NCCI, which rates 36 states in this country, has us ranked at 19, and Oregon ranks us at number 12 in terms of cost. So we're not at the middle of the pack yet. That's what the 92 reforms envisioned, and that's our message to the Labor Committee. At the same time last week, the Labor Committee voted out the mandatory paid sick leave bill. There are 2 reports on that proposal. One by the Democrats. The majority report would impact businesses with 5 or more employees and includes full and part-time workers. And it has a very broad definition of family and doesn't do a lot in terms of tools for employers to curb the abuse of the leave when it's used improperly. The Republican proposal impacts 15 or more employees. It caps the leave at 40 hours. It narrows the definition of family. It would provide employers with well, at least it wouldn't require employers to pay for doctor's visits or notes when they wanted to find out if the leave was being used properly, as the majority report would require of employers. We think it's more business friendly and usable. I think the question is, where do the legislature and the committees go from there? Is this the end of the discussion? We're not sure. The decision by the Labor Committee, the majority on the Labor Committee, to push the bill out was a surprise. We expected additional stakeholder meetings and certainly more work sessions on the issue. That didn't happen. Whether people start to rethink that strategy in the last week, we'll wait and see. We hope there are more discussions about the direction of this bill before it goes forward to the full legislature. And next week on Monday, the Labor and Housing Committee will hear 8 proposals dealing with the minimum wage. Some of those proposals would set a youth or a training wage. Some would set a divider between large business and small businesses, in which smaller employers, those with less than 50 employees, would pay one minimum wage, and other employers would pay where it is now at $11 an hour. And then another bill that Senator Lisa Keim has in would set a differential between rural and urban Maine and require a different level of minimum wage in rural sections than in urban Maine, which is obviously where the problem is in terms of the minimum wage. And then lastly, there's one bill that would require employers with more than 50 employees to pay $15 an hour. So it will be minimum wage day. Yeah, on the 18th. It will be a busy day in the Labor and Housing Committee. Minimum wage all day, all the time. And obviously, we will be there to provide our comments to the committee. Beyond that, we greatly appreciate you joining us, and stay tuned for next week. Thank you very much.
Stay classy, Maine.